but can we determine now if any of them are legal or illegal?
If the envelopes were separated from the ballots, there would be no way to tell a ballot for candidate. You could still go back and look at the envelopes to validate the signatures, but you wouldn't know what the ballot.
And isn't that the reason you're supposed to have an observer when you do that?
That is part of the chain of custody procedures, I believe, in Arizona.
And when they talk about chain of custody, that's what they're talking about, right?
Correct.
Because a lot of witnesses are going to talk about that. So let's just sum up a few of the things that you also found. Tell us about the green button in Maricopa County on the machine. And there is one witness that's going to testify that all day she saw election officials constantly pressing the green button when somebody was voting.
So what that was when a voter wasn't sure, and I believe this was also linked to another witness that's going to talk about with the differences in the pins and the Sharpies, that the Maricopa Elections Division in early voting, they specified that only use ballpoint pens for voting. And then on election day, they specified only use Sharpies. And the idea is that as the bleed through on the ballot, as the scanners would cause an error and an error ballot. By creating the error ballot, the election officials basically would slide those votes into a batch file that could be adjudicated by the election administrator or the operator. And the green button was to say, okay, there's an error, but go ahead and push cast ballot, and it punches that into an error file that can be adjudicated by the election administrator.
Now, and you examined the voter database, and your team did, right?
Say again, sir?
You examined the voter database, you and your team.
Those were actually some local Arizona folks that examined that.
So you took that from
I spoke directly.
state data? Oh, I see. Okay. You spoke directly to whom?
To local investigators here.
And you have here voter database discrepancies. 6,000 voters at least entered into database with no sex and default date of birth, and they're non-existent in LexisNexis.
Correct, and I believe there'll be a witness to discuss that later this morning.
So unless those can be discovered, those votes would have to be eliminated.
Correct, and it was explained to me that the way that happens is that you can register online for a driver's license at the same time you can register for voter registration, but the driver's license doesn't require the same information as the voter rolls. And so those kind of go into a queue that the Secretary of State would approve for the voter rolls over time. But there appear to be 6,000 voters that were on the voter rolls in the voter database with no sex and a default date of birth. So in other words, they entered 01/01, 1900 or whatever that date was.
They also discovered over 2,000 votes that used a false address, an address of a vacant lot.
Correct.
You already told us about the 1,915, 487 mail-in votes that were not verified with regard to signature in Pima County, in Maricopa County.
Maricopa, correct.
Also, in Pima and Maricopa County, Republican poll watchers were very often forced to stay outside, and unable to view the vote process.
Correct.
And is there an estimate of the number of illegal immigrants that voted in the election? Has anyone done an estimate of that?
The American Immigration Council suggests that there are about 300,000 ineligible voters, and then one of the local newspaper reported that there were another 312,000, I believe, non-incarcerated felons and other ineligible voters.
Has any attempt been made to investigate that, to determine if they can locate a sufficient number of illegal immigrants voting illegally that would have a bearing on the outcome of the election?
That would really be done by the county election officials.
But it hasn't been done.
Not that
And they're
I'm
going to
aware of.
certify the vote apparently without doing it.
I'm not aware if they.
It would
did or not.
be, you'd have to be an idiot not to think that illegal aliens, immigrants voted, right?
It's very possible.
How many are there in Arizona? Approximately.
That's
Anybody's guess, but what's the lowest number?
That
Can
would be
anybody
a
help me with that?
question for the local legislatures.
5 million, 4 million?
I wish we knew, sir.
Pardon me?
I wish we knew.
Mr. Chairman.
What's the lowest number we could use? 4 million?
Representative Cook?
Mr. Chairman, my colleague, Representative Townsend, and I have had several discussions over the past few weeks about that number, and she could provide that to Mr. Giuliani.
Mr. Chair.
Please, Ms. Townsend.
Mr. Chair, is this on? Thank you. And Mr. Giuliani, Mayor Giuliani, I can't tell you how many people are in this state that are potentially can vote illegally as an illegal alien, but I can tell you that there is a way for them to vote under the federal only voter program, meaning that someone here illegally or a fake name, anybody that can put together a voter registration card with a fake name, or if they're not eligible to vote and are not in the MVD system here in Arizona, when they register to vote, if they're not found in the MVD system, the DMV system, they're not there, then they're contacted to see, do you have a birth certificate? Do you have anything to prove your citizenship? When they don't answer, then their name is relegated to the federal only voter list, which there's 36,000 in the state of Arizona of people who can't prove their citizenship, can't prove they exist, other than when they show up to election day, all they have to do is show their bank statement, their title to their car, anything you can reproduce on your own computer with your fake name on there or whatever, and onto a bank statement, and you get a ballot, and you can vote for president and your congressperson and senator. So up to 36,000 plus people in Arizona could potentially vote, and I do have the numbers of who has voted in Maricopa County is 4,100 of the true federal only, and another 4,000 that are supposedly out of state. So those alone haven't been researched deeply enough to know, does that name even exist as a person? And are they here? Is that someone here who's here illegally or not? So we don't know upwards of 8,000 people in Maricopa County alone who have cast a ballot who weren't able to.
Well, I mean, that's pretty astonishing. So I will say, and I may be wrong, but let's say there were 5 million illegal aliens in Arizona. It is, it's beyond credulity that a few 100,000 didn't vote, particularly given Representative Townsend's explanation that there's an encouragement that goes on to have them vote. Now, every one of those votes would be an illegal vote. Every one of those votes denies a lawful voter of their franchise, just wipes it out. Has there been any attempt to try and investigate that after the election, even on a sample basis, like going to a district where there are a large number of possible illegal aliens, and go back, check the names, and see, were there 5,000, were there 10,000, were there
Mr. Chair.
20,000? Has there been even an attempt to do that?
Mr. Chair.
None that I'm aware of.
Well, I mean,
Members?
that's totally,
Yeah. Can I speak to that, Mayor?
yes, please.
Yes, please.
So we put in, 2 years ago, we put in an elections integrity unit in the Attorney General's office, and I've been on the phone with them, asking them what are they going to be doing, how can they look into this, and they told us that they don't have the authority to go out and look for a crime. They have to have it presented to them, so they can't go out and do an audit, they can't go out and actively research this. I also was told the same thing by the Board of Supervisors, that they cannot perform an audit above and beyond what's already been done that's in statute. So all we're really left with that I'm aware of is having, and as much as I appreciate this forum today, and I'm very grateful for you, we need an actual committee hearing. Like, I'm the chair of the elections committee. If we were to hold an actual committee hearing, we would have subpoena power to go and look at the machines, to look at these things, and inspect them and get down to it. So we can do an audit. We just need to conduct a committee hearing to give us that subpoena power to be able to do so.
Mr. Giuliani?
So when this vote is certified, if that's not done, there is no question in any reasonable person's mind that the vote totals contain large numbers of illegal votes from people who are not citizens of the United States. The question is, how many? And the officials certifying have made no effort to find out the truth, which seems to me gives the state legislature a perfect reason to take over the conduct of this election, because it's being conducted irresponsibly and unfairly. Why doesn't your state legislature exercise its responsibility under the Constitution? What's wrong with it?
Mr. Giuliani, that is the essential question that we are here to ask.
So now, anything else? Colonel, you did a great job. He's available for any more questions.
If you are done,
All day.
if you are done, Mr. Giuliani, we do have a number of questions from the panel members for you, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
All right. The first thing I'd like to ask is, you spoke on system capability, and I know that much has been made of the excoriation of the state of Texas on the Dominion equipment, software, and all that. Can you provide just a very short comment on why they said, not only are we not recommending this, we're prohibiting the use of this equipment in our state?
In a nutshell, vulnerabilities that were issued, not addressed, and not fixed. There were too many system vulnerabilities.
Okay. And you also referenced a comment about DHS. And I'm struggling with, why did DHS say security for this election was the best it had ever been? Do you have any insight into that?
In my experience in life, there's generally two factors for individual. I mean, it's either competence or commitment. So they were either incompetent or not committed to learning the truth at the senior leader level, not
Okay.
at the operator level.
And does DHS know about the information that you've shared with us, or that you're sharing with us in the process of this? Have you shared that with them specifically?
And much more.
So beyond what you're saying here, you've gone into much greater depth.
Yeah, we have relationships with our local DHS personnel in Texas,
Mhm.
in both the intelligence divisions and CISA. When I started working on this project in August, I called them up, said, you guys have got to come out and look at it. They did. They spent an initial 3 hours going through this data. At the end of that, one of them said, I think I need to go outside and throw up.
Okay, besides that, did they do anything about it?
They had multiple follow-ups. They drove up to our Dallas counterpart team, received over 600 gigabytes of data that had been accumulated over time. Our team provided them over 200 gigabytes of confirmatory data, and they analyzed that. After they analyzed, there was a passive scan done. They conducted a limited scan and determined that there were vulnerabilities. They held numerous meetings with their folks, the CISA cyber side, and the INA, which is the Intelligence Assessment Division.
And I'm sorry, CISA, could you let the folks who are watching know what CISA is?
CISA is the agency in DHS. It's responsible for cyber and infrastructure.
Okay. Members, any other questions? Representative Biasucci.
Thank you.
One note that might be important. Members of the elections division of CISA, I was told would never attend the meetings or the briefings that were conducted internal to DHS on the material that we had presented.
And I'm sorry, who is that that did not participate?
The Election Security Division inside of DHS.
Okay, thank you. Representative Biasucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Colonel. I just wanted to make sure I have this correct. So when we're talking about, it was Mr. Krebs, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. He stated the most secure election in history. He stated we're not connected to the internet. He stated no votes leave this country. This is all things he's stated publicly. So are you,
It's just a website, correct?
right. So are you willing to say under oath that you have seen the connection to the internet? You have seen it go offshore to Germany, Frankfurt. Are these things that you have personally seen and can say that is not true?
Our white hat hackers, yes, they have that traffic in the packets.
So why would he make that kind of comment, do you think?
Either not knowing, believing the myth, or not wanting the truth to be known.
Thank you.
Senator Borelli.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Colonel. I got a couple questions on the Board of Supervisors. During one of their hearings, it said that the text for this equipment, that's, by the way, the county doesn't own this equipment. It's leased by Dominion and Smartmatic. But is it irregular? Is it SOP for the tech reps to be there during the election process?
Yeah, that's been something we observed in Michigan, Pennsylvania, whether they're full-time Dominion employees or contractors. There are Dominion employees that are there to run the equipment.
Because at the Board of Supervisors hearing they'd actually made comments that they actually provided them an office space in the county for them to handle this stuff. My question is, a couple of weeks ago, they did a test just to show that how the system was secure. So they did it before and mid and then after tests, so everybody could see that the Board of Supervisors and the county elections that see this cannot. So what you're hearing is false, obviously, or is it during that test? Can they find the anomalies in there during that basically what I always call a dog and pony show? Would that show up in one of these tests?
In a forensics examination?
No, just see, come here and look at, this is how we certify the machines, calibrate the machine, whatever, zero it out, this and that. Obviously, these anomalies would not be showing up during that moment, correct?
Correct, and it's our understanding that Dominion had a software update, at least in a couple states. I'm not sure about Maricopa County, but like the day before the election.
Representative Bartow, any questions?
I did have one question. Thank you, Colonel. Excellent information. You described web traffic increase during the election as opposed to, how do you measure the increase?
Are you talking just on the Dominion server
Yes.
network?
Yes.
They just look at volume of data that's moving through the pipes. And I'm not our hacker team they're the experts. I just kind of the big picture, know how to dance it, but they do measure volume traffic. Matter of fact, on the Frankfurt server on election day, there was a German cybersecurity professor that was noting that the increase in traffic was, and he related it back to COVID and said, we haven't even hit our indoors winter season yet, and we've hit the highest traffic. And he specifically noted that one of the reasons was the American elections.
Was it an exponential increase?
I don't think it's been exponential, but I think it went from 7 point something terabytes a second to 10 terabytes. So it went to a lot of, a pretty big increase, not an exponential though.
Okay, to my unqualified mind, I don't know exactly what that means, but it sounds big.
The volume jumped up pretty significantly on November 3rd and 4th. to that particular server in the pipes.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Colonel Waldron, so essentially about 33, 34, 35% increase?
I would have to go back and look at the numbers, but
I mean,
something
from
in
7 to
ballpark.
10?
Ballpark.
Yeah, that's big.
I can't really.
Yeah. All right, very good. Senator Gowan, you have any questions?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Colonel, you talking about the SGO system, and that was, you said Hugo Chavez, he was a partial owner in that. Now, that's the beginning of Dominion?
SGO was a separate company, but Dominion acquired Sequoia Systems that was spun off of SGO. And they also acquired Premier, which was spun off of Diebold, but they all have the common core, the common code really goes back to SGO. And that one org chart that I put up there kind of showed the licensing agreements that go back and forth between SGO and Dominion. So it's the licensing for the software and the code.
So it still stems from the SGO system.
That's correct.
So, and then you're stating Dominion owns the data. So does that mean when they see the vote count that they own that, not the counties, the state?
They process it, they retain it. It's in their backup servers.
So they have the votes themselves as well, when that's supposed to be property of the state.
They've got the data. They've got the voter data, voter registrations.
And then you said Dominion sits on the board, Mr. Krabs, is that right?
Mr. Crab?
It was on the CISA website.
When you say the board, what is the board?
It was their Election Security Advisory Council.
8 minutes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
About to start the show.
Let's see. Representative
Got
Roberts.
enough for Rudy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Rudy's gotta
Colonel
go.
Walton, earlier you were talking about the methods via internet and internal methods as far as, I think you used the term, I forgot exactly how you said it. There was basically methods from the internet and then also internally that there could be manipulation of votes. So my question is do you have any knowledge of were the machines in Arizona connected to the internet at any point in time? And if not, or if so, are there logs internally in these machines that if we were to be
8
able to
minutes.
subpoena these machines and demand them so they could be examined, could we see all of those changes that were made?
So when you watch CBS, CNN, any of the mainstream media where they've got the live vote updates, that data is passed live. I mean, it's as the votes are updated. So it's, nobody's getting in a plane and flying the hard drive to New York. I mean, it's uploaded and it's connected. So it's
That was a burn right there.
to the internet. And
That was
whether
a dig on Rudy right there.
they can move votes with the cards, the voter cards. Those can be preloaded in laptops with the software that could be interdicted and upload fake votes, as in the allegation from Pima County, in batches of 1,000. They can scan blank ballots, and then the administrator can allocate that batch of blank ballots to one candidate or another, either in 100% or any percentages that they allocate in the, according to the user's manual.
So to that point, just indulge me just a moment. Would you say that that is what we saw in the 2018 election with Governor Bevin? Where we actually saw on television, real time, the movement of some 500 votes from one candidate to another. I mean, it was so stark. You saw them go down on one and up on the other on the exact number. Would that be a
Yeah, explain
manifestation of
this.
what you're talking about?
So the the working hypothesis from our counterparts on that, because they worked that and watched it, and they actually went to Kentucky to assist the team there, was that was a server level interdiction. So they went up to the server, downloaded a CSV file, changed the votes, and re-uploaded it.
Thank you. Representative Roberts.
So just to kind of tack on to what we were just discussing, it's my understanding, because there was an article here in Arizona from the Arizona Daily Independent, there was a quote unquote whistleblower that was talking about issues that they had observed. And so one of the things they were talking about was that the data from the machines was being moved via the hard drive. So what you just described as far as the real-time data being uploaded. and all
5
that
minutes.
stuff, just for the layman, that same type of manipulation, whether you plug in an Ethernet cable or what have you, or you're doing it on a user
I'll be back. Show
interface,
starts in 5.
that same type of malfeasance could be accomplished in that method as well.
And I think in looking at these systems, we identified, almost a dozen ways that you could inject or interdict to manipulate votes.
On that note, you said earlier that pretty much all of these machines have vulnerabilities. So is there any system out there that you're aware of that is worth exploring, or do we just need to go back to the paper ballot?
There is MIT developed a system with some capital infusion. It's a system called VOATZ, VOATZ. And it's
It designated to anyone who stated
yeah,
award
it's,
against me. So
when I first became aware of this, I went and talked to some friends of mine who were bank presidents. I said, okay, why can't we apply banking principles? Because if you want anything done right, you got to talk to the money people. That's who protects your stuff. And he said, oh yeah, this is and it's an app. You can do it as an app with tie it into Real ID and a blockchain type solution, or the next generation solution. But there are systems, and I believe the VOATZ system is deployed right now. I believe there, and I know
People have a
West Virginia
memory
is
loss. They don't
one that I
remember
remember
how the
reading
boss is
on
lost
the
your whole big
website.
when I close it.
Thank you.
Sir, the Senator, any questions?
There's so much shit going on in this
Thank you,
screen.
Mr. Chairman, appreciate it.
Let me find my
Thank you for here
glasses.
today. I'd like to go back to the Board of
Let me find my-
Supervisors letter
Get that out
where
of
they
there.
talk about certifying the Maricopa County election.
I just went to go pee and all I did was look
They
at my
have,
hair. I
5
gotta go
points
pee.
that they make for the reason why they call this a reliable election. And my concern is, of course, over the Dominion tabulation equipment. They said it was vetted by a bipartisan Equipment Certification Advisory Committee before the contract was finalized. And as required by law, the committee tested the functionality and accuracy of tabulation equipment before it was used in any Arizona election. Well, after listening to your testimony, that does not give me any confidence, because the machines, of course, can perform very accurately. It's after the fact, after the election starts, after the ballot is starting to be put into the machine, that these problems start arising. So is that accurate to say that this should not give us confidence about this being a reliable election?
Ma'am, anything that is software based can be manipulated and changed with a click of a button, or
I hope y'all motherfuckers wash your hands.
drives.
Damn, that didn't count.
One in,
The show
one
hasn't
algorithm,
started yet.
pull it out,
It
plug
doesn't count
another
as
one in,
cussing. My 10 minutes
use a
starts at
different
10.
algorithm. And we also believe on the connectedness. These can be pushed down from the top and shifted down. So think of it like a casino or a state lotto.
Man, this dude's explaining
You're,
everything. These guys got
Whoever
nothing.
owns the eye in the sky, you can control the margins. And that's really, I think, what we're looking at.
Well, certainly from your testimony, I can see that. And I have one more question, if I could, Mr. Chairman.
I believe Senator Burley has it to that point.
All right, go ahead.
All right, please proceed.
Well,
yield.
I was going to switch down to the 1% early ballots that they did, and I had a question about that. So Sonny, if you have something to what I said before, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Colonel, so basically what you're saying, For example, since the techs are already there on site during the process. So if a machine jams up and naturally they call the tech over there to go fix the unjam, they could literally, without anybody noticing, because they're the techie people, they could stick a thumb drive in there and upload, change the numbers, manipulate, whatever.
There was an affidavit in Pennsylvania from, I think it was last week. A gentleman supervisor had a Ziploc bags full of USB drives, and they noted that he was inserting the USB drives into the machines at a much higher rate than would be necessary or that they had seen in the past. So, yes, you know, it's very,
Okay.
very.
So now
I can't tell what side this dude's on.
Forgive me,
even.
but what
wanna
think
start the show.
You're saying is that they have just created an electronic footprint, either in the data download that you're seeing real time, that you'd be seeing some kind of a spike, or is there something that's captured on the machine that itself, like a memory card that is resident on the machine, not that is actually talking to the hard drive?
The machines, for the most part, voting machines are just run by, bootable software and data cards, the cards that actually hold the votes. The backup servers is really where the true story would reside as far as the upload, downloads, the change, the error warnings for the mismatch errors.
So would you be able to show with specificity
Sorry ass, stay away from me. Yo, it is what it is, ain't it? It's Monday though. Welcome to another episode of my coffee. I do not have no coffee, but I do got some green teas, and the company's name is Steve's, made by these guys named Steve. As you can see, I've made it all the way from the stall to the crawl to the wall. Because remember, you can't ball from the stall until you crawl from the stall. So anyway, this is Coffee and Bong Hits with Jessie. I am Jessie. I'll be your host for probably the next hour, unless I get bored with myself. But I have a lot to talk about, so I don't see that happening. Hey, look, make sure you go check out the new designs on Coffee and Bong Hits gear. I'm telling you, we got some fresh shit designed by my man 3 Inks, Maxwell Edison. Got us some dope gear, and you know who's throwing it together for us. Stand up and fight back.bigcartel.com. Go to standupandfightback.bigcartel.com and check out their entire selection of incredible dope shit. And anybody, we did start the show early today because if anybody was wondering what was going on, I had to listen to Rudy. I've seen Rudy because I went to do some busy work on YouTube, and I saw Rudy, and I was like, oh shit. And then I was thinking everything was already loaded up. Sorry I probably bumped somebody on the 5. Didn't mean to, but by starting this show early means the audio probably started. Hopefully it was just music. I can't remember what comes before me on the 5's new schedule. I don't think. I don't know. It might have been the 5 News. I don't know. I'll know if I get an email. If I get an email from headquarters, or if I get a Facebook message with Balico calling me the N-word, then we'll know. Hey, here's your reminder though, while we're at it, to go get the 5 app, and you always got dope hip hop in your pocket. The 5 app. Where's the commercial for that? Looks like it's right here.
New music coming up. up and went right back. Now this is G-Eazy. It's your boy, you got the king. These brand new, don't step on my business. I'ma hit that if she let me. They don't like how I talk that. What's going on? This is Jessie. I gotta represent. Hey. It's a rolling, not a stopwatch. It don't never stop. Have you ever seen a crowd going ape shit?
You ever seen a crowd going ape shit? So yeah, not only get the app, check out the FM show with Big Chris and Trip 6, broadcasting live from Southern Oregon, but mostly check out all the dope programming coming out of the 5, the TV channel, man. So for those who don't know, the reason I left Hawaii, man, I had the most perfect life ever. God, I'm so stuck here. I know nobody feels bad for me, but I had the most perfect life ever. All I had to do was just work at the 7-Eleven 4 days a week in the air conditioning with free Slurpees and free little iced coffees and And then the voice in my head was like, bro, you better go and drop the strange game, man. And I was like, what? The voice in my head just wouldn't let me sit content, right? It was like, look, Jess, you're about to retire at like 45. You can't retire at 45. You still got more to contribute to the world. You still have a voice, and you still have a way of being able to explain what's going on in the world so that other people can understand it, right? And that's really valuable right now. But you need the bigger platform. I was like, oh, can't I just sit in the jungle and do shows on my phone? Can't I just sit in a tree and just point my phone at myself? And the voice in my head was like, no. And then right at that exact same time, Baliko hits me up and says, yo, in 2020, we're taking the radio show, or we're taking the radio station, which we launched in 2019, that beautiful 5 Radio XL. We're going to take that with all our success, and we're going to turn, because since everybody was just pointing their phone at them anyways, right? Doing your show and then pointing the phone, might as well try to do some multimedia shit, right? And so, man, I swear, if it was anybody else besides Baliko, I probably would have just been like, yeah, nah, man. But Balik's my dude, man. He owns a Guinness World Record. For real, he owns a Guinness World Record for most rap performances. And I was like, bro, I got a ton of respect for that dude, right? So I was like, bro, I feel you. I'll come to Kansas City just until like May, and we'll get the show all beautiful, right? We'll drop Strange Game on a volcano. It'll be beautiful. It'll revolutionize esoteric podcast, talk radio genre, right? I mean, if we're talking about the pyramids and we're talking about UFOs, we don't need a dude with crazy hair, man. We already have a dude with crazy hair. But why can't it be some G shit? Why can't it intersect everything? Why does it have to be weirdos always talking about it? So we went there, we dropped it. It was beautiful. Then COVID hit. Now, next thing you know, I can't do my show anymore because I have to come back to Portland and there's nowhere to do the show from, because who knows where I'm going to be at 10 o'clock at night. So I'm like, all right, well, let me just hang out and try to just be a cool person and try to see if I could be helpful and shit, right? But I still got to get back to Hawaii. When is this coronavirus going to be over, right? Then in the meantime, Hawaii, they start suffering real bad because of the virus canceled the tourism. And so here's the thing about colonialism, man. Like, not every person that moves somewhere else is a colonizer, right? There's a specific series of behaviors that make you a colonizer. And I'm very careful to make sure that my footprint is light and that I always leave a place better than it was when I showed up, right? So I feel perfectly comfortable living in Hawaii with no guilt, right? But I do have a deep respect for the impact that colonization has had on that island and the chain of islands. Because see, here's something you guys don't even understand about Hawaii. Hawaii itself is tedious. Before the Americans even showed up, tedious isn't the right word. Tenuous. Let's go with tenuous. The relationship. All the Hawaiian islands, they weren't always united. They used to be individual countries. Only when King Kamehameha got the guns from the Dutch did King Kamehameha have the power to finally unite the Hawaiian Islands. Did you know that? I thought when I got there, I thought King Kamehameha just like fist fought and karate kicked everybody. And that was how he united the islands. But no, he did it with guns from the Dutch. Anyways, so then the Americans come over and do the same freaking stuff, right? Ugh. Everybody's always got to colonize. So anyways, my point is that I can't go back to the island when I am competing for resources. I can't go back to the island when I can't even remember to say a la peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and make my logo pop up. Bing. There we go. I can't go back and be like, let me get a job. I can't go back to the temp agency. I can't, because other people need those jobs, right? Other people need those resources. And so until I'm independently, financially able to sustain myself living in the jungle with just baby ducks. I mean, it doesn't cost us much, man. Duck food costs more than you think, though, and those things really like to eat. I know, let them eat slugs and bugs, but they like grain too. So anyways, that is where I'm at today, stuck in Portland, Oregon, still in quarantine. Went and got the headquarters. Went and got, look, I'm going to tell you guys a secret. Watch this, watch this, watch this, watch this. Boosh, that's my bathroom. Look, boosh, that's the pile of recycling. Oh. But if you didn't see that exact moment, you would really think I was in in this nasty outhouse or this nasty public restroom. And all I want is for people, if they're just scrolling by, right? I don't give a shit if people watch my show or not. Seriously, it doesn't. Like, if there's one person, 2 people, 10 people, that doesn't matter. It's just part of the machine. I just have to show up to work every day because one of these days, some shit will pop off and we'll be back to, like, 500s, thousands. Getting views isn't hard. Building with sheet is hard. You know what I'm saying? Building at all of its phases. So my point, I guess, is that I came back to the mainland to build an Iron Man suit. And I've done it like from those mornings in Kansas City when it was 4 degrees. And I walked from the crazy room I was renting from the crazy lady with the over-aggressive dog, those early-ass cold mornings, walking to the radio station in Kansas City. And it just being me and Balico there, drinking the nastiest, lamest instant coffee, but being so grateful to have it and just being in a creative space with creative people and inspiring people. And even though I got called the N-word a lot, it was cool. And then, like, coming back to Portland is freaking not very cool. God, why does everybody in Portland have to lie? People are just liars. Oh. You know why? Because mentally ill people gravitate towards Portland, man, because we advertise ourselves as being like copacetic with the mentally struggling. Right? It was like, oh, come to Portland, you can just dress like a unicorn. That's okay. Nobody's gonna care, right? So it becomes this like depository or repository that smells like a suppository. The deeper depressions in a riverbed where the salmon, after the salmon come up and they spawn, and then they start to turn, and then they die, and then they all float to the lower parts, and it looks like this giant pile of just decomposing fish. That's Portland, Oregon, man. You guys had an opportunity to get rid of Ted Wheeler. You guys had an opportunity to get rid of Ted Wheeler, and instead you were so dumb that you thought somebody could get 80,000 votes as a write-in candidate. Yo, let me tell you the truth about these protest bums, man. Think of this, man. How would you still collect donations for your protest if Sarah would have won the election, right? Giving Sarah the election would have made it so there wasn't really much to protest. Then these people would have had to find some other place to get their cigarettes instead of protesting and bumming cigarettes all fucking day. How long did I make it without I don't know how long I made it, but you guys had a chance to elect Sarah with a black campaign manager. You know, Sarah could have picked anybody in the city to be her campaign manager, and she picked Greg. And you guys couldn't vote for her because you were so scared of being called racist that you just had to vote for a lesser candidate so that nobody on Twitter said you were racist. Holy shit, this world does not deserve my critical thinking skills. Man, you know who's really scared of being called racist? Racist. So why don't you just not be fucking racist? Oh, speaking of not being racist, now would be a good time to remind you guys that Santa Claus is black. And if you pay close attention, you might see him at the mall, like Bobby Brady did in this commercial for our upcoming holiday special, Socially Distant Santa, on urbansurvivorman.com, coming to you December 12th. So if your kid, your grandma, anybody in your family wants to have a little tete-a-tete or whatever they call it in France with Santa Claus, just know he shops at the mall. Because like he says in the commercial, if you have a wife, do not give her elf-made presents for Christmas. Seems like it's a no-brainer, but not everybody gets it, man. Okay, let me show y'all what time it is.
Hey, Santa, what are you doing at the mall?
Oh, yeah, I'm just out here shopping for a wife.
Don't you have elves?
Oh, of course I have elves, but when you get married, don't ever give your wife a present made of elves.
Can I sit on your lap?
That's not proper social distancing, but you know.
How about a high five?
How about I write you a letter?
I already wrote you a letter.
Oh, well, you can come meet me at urbansurvivorman.com on December 12th. See me online.
Do you always wear that coat?
Whoo, that's so funny to me. Oh, that's so funny to me. Holy shit. There's some really good jokes in that commercial. When Santa says, how about I just write you a letter? Oh, that's a good one. And then when the kid says, do you wear that coat every day? Oh man, that is a good ass commercial. Oh shit. Okay, look, it's 10:20, so we're gonna hit you real quick with the weather. That's right, we got the weather and traffic brought to you by Polytink. Where the heck is it? Okay, well, we got Dunny traffic and Dunny weather with Polytink right about, I'd say, now.
Yep. Thanks, Bob and Kathy. This is the Dunny with the traffic and weather report, and I'm reporting live from 12th and Chacon on the east sides there. Okay, traffic. There goes a car. Weather, not too shabby. Little chilly this morning. Had to pull up my socks there, as you can see. Okay, thanks. Back to you, Bob and Kathy.
All right. And even though I don't have a bong today because I'm doing the show live out of a restroom, I just want to let you guys know that today's Super Giant Pipe Hit is brought to you by Foster Kitty. Foster Kitty Nightcrawler, when you came into my life, you were a wreck. You had just got off drugs, maybe alcohol, and you weren't ready for the real world. But with a lot of affirmations, a lot of love, a lot of cat poop, a lot of cat litter, you get to go to your forever home today with an old lady who has comorbidities. I don't know if I should let the foster kitty go live with an old lady, man. It's a rich old lady, though. She's going to be like Annie. When they get there, they'll be like, what do you want to do first, Annie? And she'll be like, I think I'll lick the windows, then lick the floors. That way, if the windows drip, I won't have to do the floors twice. You know, when I was a little kid, that was the gamiest thing I ever heard. When Annie said that she was going to do the windows, so she wouldn't have to do the floors twice. Now that I'm a grown-ass man, I heard a better one. But oddly enough, it was also from a little girl. So she asked one time, she said, if I punch myself in the face and I knock myself out, am I really strong or am I really weak? I don't know the answer. I still don't know the answer to that. Anyways, Foster Kitty. This excessively large pipe hit in lieu of a bong hit is in your honor. Man, the foster kitty's gonna have a diving board. I swear to God, I woke up this morning and I was like, they can't have my cat. And now I'm like, man, I gotta give up the cat though. I can't have a fucking cat. Who the hell is that? She doesn't even really like me that much, honestly. I don't even really like her that much. I just feel like we came together at an important time where she protected me from all the demons that were trying to sneak up on me in my last apartment. So I feel like I owe her one. Because, man, I was in a weird spot and right before Halloween, man. The line between the two worlds was blurring. It was like super blurring. And the floor kept dropping out from me. Holy shit. I'd just be walking. All of a sudden, the floor would be like deeper. You guys don't even know fucking humans. You guys are like, that dude's so weird. Okay, so what's in the news, man? This guy's in the news. Hey, I didn't lose. Joe Biden, no way. Joe Biden got 80 million votes. I got 80 million votes, Jack. You got to get out of here and don't fart all over the bedroom because I'm moving in. That's Barack's old room. I always wanted to sleep in Barack's old room. I'd walk by, Barack would be hanging out in his room. I'd be like, man, that's a nice room you got, Barack. He'd be like, yeah, sucks you're not allowed in it. And I'd be like, someday, Barack Obama, that's going to be my room. And Barack Obama would be like, get out of my room, Joe Biden. And I just sniff him one time. I love the way that room smells. It's mine now, Barack. Anyways, Donald Trump is like, Donald Trump is like, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. We're all innocent. Me, my family. I don't know that guy. Who's that guy? Donald Trump Jr. Never met him. I don't know. I just don't want to go to prison. So I will pardon myself and my kids for crimes that we didn't commit. Then when we find out that it didn't commit, that the pardon didn't work, then we can just give it to anybody. What? And then people are just like, the president's dreaming. You know there was election fraud. You're like, you can't, man. You can't just believe what you see on the news because you want it to be true. So when people are like, Jesse, you can't have a show where you just pretend that you're Momo and just talk, and people that are just scrolling by were like, is there a Momo show? And I'll be like, bro, it's the Momo show for show. And they're like, why is your art so crappy? And I'll be like, I don't know why my art's crappy. I just keep putting Momo in everything. But I bet if we just do this for about one more minute, the number of views is going to go way up because I'll be like, what the hell is going on? Oh, man, maybe tomorrow I'll write a script. Okay, look, let's go to some, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. It's my show, right? I can do whatever the fuck I want. And I did swear, and it's 26 minutes in. Sorry, church kids. Don't you have somewhere else to be, church kids? You youth group us? All right. While you guys go to church youth group, us heathens are going to see what's going on Mars right now. This is on Mars right now. Man, Rajim, I don't feel good, G. I just had to do the show wherever I could do the show. Like at 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, I just got to set my laptop down and start doing the show. It doesn't matter where I am. When nature calls, nature calls. But when the 5 Radio XL calls, the 5 Radio XL calls too. Yeah, hold on. Let me, yeah, man, I can't. That's just the way it is. When nature calls, nature calls. But when the 5 Radio XL calls, the 5 Radio XL calls. So sometimes you just gotta just take a shit and then give a shit away. Right? It's cause and effect. It's yin and yang, man. If you want to give a shit, you gotta take a shit. Oh man, I'm a nut today, man. I'm just happy, man. I'm going to the beach. I'm going to the beach to marry a couple people. That should be nice. And then I'm gonna stick around and check out the lunar eclipse. Y'all motherfuckers still really just believe in the moon, right? You guys just you guys still, after all the times I told you, you guys still are just like, the moon. It's just the moon. The moon, why you just like it's just the moon? I don't get that part. I don't understand that part. I don't get that part. You think you would look up and be like, what the hell is this gigantic thing floating around, staring at us nonstop with magnetic anomalies and a hollow core? But they don't, man. They don't. Man, you can't give a shit if you don't take a shit, homie. Right? That's a damn good question. It's not as good as the punch yourself in the face one from earlier, but that's a good question, man. How come y'all never come on my show, Regine? I see you. I see you got music. Hey, Regine, tell me right now. We'll play one of your videos when we come back from halftime. Hey, send me to YouTube. Give me a YouTube to watch. And while we're watching fucking Mars, man, look, yo, this is like the only show that talks shit, takes shit. I thought I invited you the other day. Man, look, this is the only show that talks shit, takes shits in the bathroom, and our other planets. Let me see if I can. Man, just tell me the name of it because I can't copy and paste from my comment section like that. But everybody else can. But if you just tell me, look, this is Mars right here in this little window. This is the only planet in our solar system inhabited entirely by robots. But that's, oh man, you don't have to be here. You just have to just click in the link, man. Just like Figure 8 does on Fridays for the price of his writer, and just like Dirty Black does on Thursdays. Yeah, that's the cut. We played that before on this show, actually. Man, we really played that before. I love that song. We're going to play that right when we come back from this break, okay, y'all? It's just a short little halftime, but we got to drop a halftime. So even though you think it's remarkable that we got men on the moon and we got robots on Mars and we got a little piece of toilet paper on Uranus, be better. Ling Ling takes 4 bowls to the head. How about you? This is Coffee and Bong Hits. I'll be back in 30 seconds, bro, with that joint from Regime. I ain't sorry either. That is so insane to me. Do you know how many people in their life tried to get that job? Like they woke up like a little kid and they were like, yo, I just want to grow up. No. We're going to play it again, Regime. We're going to play it again because I love it. I ain't sorry either. I ain't never sorry. People always expect me to walk around sorry for some shit. Motherfucker, you be sorry. You the one with your feelings all twisted up. Okay, let's roll this shit then, man. This is my man Regime, the Block Bishop. All right, we're gonna get him on the show Wednesday. We'll make a date. We'll get him on the show Wednesday. Watch. Then we're gonna go back to Mars. Oh man, hold on, man? Did I forget to push one important button? Hold on, damn it. We need some audio with the video, right? Nope, that's what's going on, man. Oh, I had that shit muted my damn self on the YouTube. Oh, because I didn't want. Yeah, okay. Sorry. I'm just one dude. Oh, it'll be so easy, G. I'll get you on a show. No problem. Don't want to rap over your video, though. That's my problem. I try to rap over everybody else's tracks just to show the fact that I ain't fucking whack. Get on your shit. Once again, not front, though. All right. Yo, give them what they want, bro.
I don't got to shoot, I got shooters. I know I'm cooler than the cooler. I know this way you keep your alcohol. I know that I'm out the ball. All of my niggas is savages. Meet up the pole like some scavengers. I know that them fly, I got passengers. I love Jesus Christ and Bible passages. My girl so fly, she have a Merlin. She love the majesty like Merlin. And the boss like a Laker, Irvin. Should've kept it clean like detergent. Shit, I done let the cat up out the bag. I get naked and let the dick out the sack. Let it breathe, get some air. Baby, please, I'm already there. Decadent creamery everywhere. I represent me, it's a love affair. Smelling the trees, it's a buzzing here. Carry down with the team if you weren't prepared. Hey, this is my style. I do it to get some attention. Hey, the crowd going wild, so I guess I'ma keep on spitting. Nigga, I borrowed your style, but you won't get no honorable mention. I'm rocking it better than you. I'm making retire no pension. I just get the bread at the food. Apply sandwich bread and make it smooth. My movement gon' move, that's the move. The only option not to lose. Hey, if it was scared, you ain't prepared.
I'm
I ain't
not sorry.
Your breezy clearly walked the ass over here. I ain't sorry. Mad cause you think I ran out with your beer. I ain't sorry. You tripping cause you think I stole your career. I ain't sorry. Hey, you ain't feeling me, no apologies. I ain't sorry. Hey, sorry not sorry. Hey, I ain't sorry. I don't even feel that bad, my nigga. I ain't sorry. Give no fucks about your ass, my nigga. I ain't sorry. You got options, nigga, choose. You keep it popping like a tool. Or your bitch pussy hole in my crew. Colder than the ice under a luge. Whipping the wheel and I come for the deals. Collect the cartel in the building still. Y'all popping the pills. Ask your girl how it feel with my cock in the grill when I drill for real. Job on numbers, hell no feeling still. Cause she wanna stack highs and sell a wheel. For we're killing, she prepared to kill a meal. Crash a plane, blow up a building when it's real. As real as it gets off the real to real. But we don't fuck with that, it's all digital. My cash always max, never in the mill. I put that on the max and it tracks a bill. Northwest, southwest, northeast, southeast. I'm a beast. Federal indictments for the rap sheets. For the rhyming, you know they can catch me. You can catch me all up in the for shoes. Cause it's my time, a nigga, I done pay dues. They watch my movements and study how I move. But I'm out there blooming like none of these dudes. Hey, having to do it for self. Hey, nigga always on his grind. Hey, have to keep me to their job. Hey, never having enough time. Wait, but I ain't gonna never stop. Hey, running hours in my mind. Hey, passionate about this rap. Hey, I ain't sorry, I ain't lying. Hey, if I was scared, you ain't prepared. I ain't sorry. Your breezy clearly walked the ass over here. I ain't sorry. Mad cause you think I ran out with your beer. I ain't sorry. You're tripping cause you think I stole your career. I ain't sorry. Hey, you ain't feeling me, no apologies. I ain't sorry. Hey, sorry not sorry. Hey, I ain't sorry. I don't even feel that bad, my nigga. I ain't sorry. Give no fucks about your ass, my nigga. I ain't sorry.
What? Then watch how we just seamlessly make this transition from there back all the way to the red freaking planet. Yo, you don't know no other show that's doing this. When it was like, Jessie, what's your show gonna be like? I'd be like, hey, it's gonna be freestyle. I might just go from a toilet stall Yo, that was crazy. I think that the Wi-Fi in the spot stopped. That's crap. Let me try to. What's up, Ian? What the hell happened to your finger, G? That was the nuttiest shit. Let me fix a couple things right here, man. Let me take this banner down. Bloom. Keep that ticker up. We'll just do it like this, man. This will be all right. Just we can wrap up the show early. I gotta get some shit. I gotta go to the beach, the coast, whatever. People are like, once you have a real beach, you don't call it the beach anymore. It's called the coast. You make the fuck out of here, dude. When you get to the end of the coast, there's a beach, right? Good opportunity to break out the cracks. See if that shit still floats. Trying to find the little kitty real quick. so y'all can say goodbye to her. And look at this room, though. This room's a little excessive, yo. Hold on. Oh man, she's probably hiding under my bed. Okay, well, let me try the real internet one more time. And we'll see. If that shit don't work, then if that shit don't work, then we'll probably just wrap it. I guess I could check, make sure. Like looking at the Wi-Fi is going to do anything? Like go look at the modem. Like, hey, let's go look at the modem. Is that working? I don't know. I don't know how to tell if the modem works. Yeah, that's my modem's just sitting on a bench. I still don't have any furniture. Look, this is all my furniture. A wooden chair, a camping chair, a bench. You can put like paper, rock, scissors, like the wooden chair beat up the camping chair beat up the bench would beat up the other little cat thing. Who's that gonna beat up? Whatever. Okay, shit, we'll bounce back tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a remote episode from the coast, actually, from the Oregon coast. I won't be at the beach. I'll be somewhere with some Wi-Fi, but I'll bang out probably just a half hour because I do have to marry some people tomorrow. Maybe I'll just go live for the wedding. That would be dope. I just won't tell anybody. I'll just keep my phone in my pocket. All right. Thanks to Rajim for letting us play his video today. Thanks to Rudy Giuliani for being a tool and letting us make fun of him. Thanks to the Martians for letting us put robots on their planet and for building pyramids and for having a face. Shout out to the moon for being fake. Oh yeah, look, read it to the very bottom. Yo, go to Urban Survivor. Shit, we didn't even get a chance the second half hour. I was supposed to talk about the minks. Okay, look, go to urbansurvivorman.com and read the story about the mink, and then you will be ready for tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be a crazy story, a crazy discussion about that story. What are we going to do if our cats start catching the coronavirus? I know you don't care about your grandma, but you care about your cat. Weirdos. Okay. From the window to the green wall. If I don't say 5,000 G, then that means that some monkeys with herpes stole my phone. Shout out to Anteaters. Shout out to Fuck 12 News. Firster, Liver, Mo Local, Localer. And go to the website. Go to the website, you sons of bitches. And then go get the 5 Radio XL app. And then shit, I think that's it, man. I think that's gonna be a whole show for the day. We'll just throw this up for a sec. Can you hear me still? All right, I think what I am supposed to say is, tomorrow we'll be joined by Josh Larson. Don't forget about the movement. Hey, yo, it's Jessie Sponberg. I'm rocking with the movement. You can too. Every Sunday night, 10 p.m. only on KBOO, KBOO 90.7. Okay, Audi 5000 G. Josh Larson will be here tomorrow at Shut Up Stupid 13 everywhere.
Pull up in motorcades. I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate. Choppers a throwaway. Hustle the overweight.